She administered the oath of office to the first Muslim elected to Congress. Minnesota Democrat Keith Ellison took that oath with his hand on the Quran, not his own, but one that once belonged to Thomas Jefferson. Ellison says the fact that one of the nation's founding fathers owned a Quran shows that religious differences are nothing to be afraid of.
In a first for the U.S. Congress, a member was sworn into office using their Quran, the Muslim holy book. Even before being sworn into office, Democratic Representative Keith Ellison of Minnesota was criticized for wanting you to use the Quran instead of the Bible.
The Washington Journal, and looking at taking your calls regarding a question that we'll get to. Indianapolis, go ahead.
Yes, good morning. As far as Tim and his being chosen for that spot after using TurboTax and thinking it kind of confirms the fact that all this is a redistribution of wealth, and it is socialism, and it's not just Bush's fault. He just caved into Fannie, letting everybody have a house and let everybody have a car that they couldn't afford, didn't have jobs, and now they're going to bail them out, okay? There's a lot of people that's upset with AIG, not because of the bonuses, okay, but because AIG is Sharia compliant, okay? And as a Christian, why should I have to support a failed institution, okay, that is anti-Christian?
Any comments on that, sir? Yeah, I guess I have to admit I think that's somewhat of a novel observation about it being anti-Christian, but I think that Fannie and Freddie are pro-Christian, pro-Jew, pro-Muslim, pro-Buddhist, everybody. I guess I really don't have any views about that. I want to thank the caller. Is there anything in particular regarding Fannie and Freddie that you want to address with the Treasury Secretary today, later today in the hearing? Well, there's nothing I want to bring up about Fannie and Freddie. I think Fannie and Freddie have been addressed already. We have passed a bill that would require a greater regulation and oversight of Fannie and Freddie. I'm comfortable with that. It isn't true that Fannie and Freddie or the Community Reinvestment Act caused this financial crisis. That's simply not the facts. The facts are quite a bit different from that. These subprime predatory loans that were issued by and large by unregulated mortgage originators are only the start of that, but this problem was compounded because securitization spread risks too widely for anyone to make sure that that we had well-written, well-underwritten loans. And, of course, unregulated credit default swaps played a major role in this as well. So the fact is that I think the issues regarding Fannie and Freddie have been addressed. I think it's important for us to keep an eye on all financial institutions, including Fannie and Freddie. Representative Ellison, thank you very much for being on the program. Well, it's been a pleasure, Rob, and I want to thank you for having.
There's a lot of people that's upset with AIG, not because of the bonuses, okay, but because AIG is Sharia compliant, okay. And as a Christian, why should I have to support a failed institution, okay, that is anti-Christian?
Any comments on that, sir? Yeah, I guess I have to admit I think that's somewhat of a novel observation about it being anti-Christian, but I think that Fannie and Freddie are pro-Christian, pro-Jew, pro-Muslim, pro-Buddhist, everybody. Any comments on that, sir? Yeah, I guess I have to admit I think that's somewhat of a novel observation.
Giant have a connection to terrorists that they don't want you to know about.
Scare us a little bit. How is AIG tied up with this?
AIG is, of course, the company that we now have $150 billion of taxpayer money in. It is a huge insurance company. The Treasury Department felt we needed to prop it up. It has a subsidiary called Takaful Insurance, which sells insurance products that are deemed by Sharia authorities, Islamic scholars and the like, to be Sharia compliant. What's Sharia? Sharia, of course, is the program that these Islamic authorities want to impose on all of us. It has such wonderful characteristics as floggings and beheadings and stonings and mutilation.
Big Taliban, to the 10th power.
Taliban, Saudi Arabia, Iran. You don't want to go there, right? But as taxpayers, we're now owning a company that is promoting this concept, legitimating this concept, and yes, it is tied to terror. Ultimately, the purpose of Sharia is to bring about a global theocracy. Jihad of two kinds, the violent kind and the stealthy, nonviolent kind, are being used to bring that about. And to the extent that companies like AIG are endorsing this idea through products that they're selling, they're, I'm afraid, tied to activities we don't want to do. And now that we own it, it's unconstitutional. Because under our laws, you can't do that.
Except for you. Is anyone paying attention? The right people that they're supposed to be looking into?
People are beginning to pay attention, but the U.S. government is unfortunately not among them. The U.S. government is, to the contrary, actually encouraging Sharia-compliant activities in the financial sector and now in this. And, you know, our feeling is that it is unconstitutional, as well as contrary to the national interest, to be promoting a program that involves the destruction of the United States government.
I guess I really don't have any views about that. I want to thank the caller.
All praise be to Allah. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Because people who be swearing on the Bible be lying all the time anyway. But right now, go directly to the Honorable Congresswoman, Chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus, Carolyn Sheets Kilpatrick.
All right. Go ahead. All right now. Giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. You just saw 3 of our members leave appropriations. In 10 minutes, we're picking subcommittees. And you got to be there. Ain't no process. And I know you want us as members of the caucus to get our due share and bring our money home to over 40 million African Americans that we represent and others in this country.
All this is a redistribution of wealth.
Put your dollars where your mouth is. Now is the time. You heard the speaker stand here and say how great we are, and we are.
And it is socialism. And it's not just Bush's fault. He just caved into.
I don't care what they write about us. It is us who determine who we are. We're the kings and queens who brought the gifts of religion, civilization, and science to the world. We're the kings and queens. We're the kings and queens.
Fannie letting everybody have a house and let everybody have a car that they couldn't afford, didn't have jobs, and now they're going to bail them out. Okay?
Who brought the gifts of religion? Who brought the gifts of religion? Who brought the gifts of religion, civilization, and science to the world? We've been blessed to be the best. We've been blessed to be the best. The best. The best. All of us feel the same way.
Is there anything in particular regarding Fannie and Freddie that you want to address with the Treasury Secretary today, later today in the hearing? Well, there's nothing I want to bring up about Fannie and Freddie. I think Fannie and Freddie have been addressed.
Our challenge now is, are we ready? I believe that we are. So as I leave you to go get my committee assignment, and I hope it's one of those $100 billion communities so I can help do what we're trying to do. And I hope it's one of those $100 billion communities so I can help do what we're trying to do. Put your dollars where your mouth is. Help do what we're trying to do.